Hey guys, what's up? What's up? Somebody give me a 5 for 5 real quick. I'll get right into this. I don't have a whole lot of time this morning, so I'm just going to go ahead and jump into it as soon as I get a 5 for 5 in there. Good morning, everybody, by the way. Good morning. Or as Robert Williams used to say, good morning, Vietnam, right? I know everybody's probably hearing about the slap heard around the world, right? We're not going to talk about that because that's not what this channel is. But I thought it was completely crazy. And that right there tells you how tense our world is at the moment. The fact that arguably two of the best comedians in the world get into a altercation like that live during the Oscars is crazy to think. I'm not even trying to say who's right or wrong because I simply don't know. I don't have a position on that. I don't have a dog in the fight. So yeah. Personally, though, I would say this, that, when it gets physical things like that going on, might have been best to handle that in the background. Who knows? But, yeah. So we will just move forward with that. I hope everybody in there is okay. Let's see here. Who we got in here? Okie dokie. Hey, Angelo. What's going on? Holding it down in the Bronx, baby. Okay, so we're going to jump into this. You're probably wondering what happened with my last live stream. Guys, I accidentally deleted the stupid thing. And I'm telling you right now, guys, if you've never messed with YouTube in the back end of things, hitting one button the wrong way can really jerk you around. And that's exactly what happened. So I'm sorry. Anybody got to see that? I'm glad that you guys got to see it. But for those that don't know, I did a live stream like two days ago, and I accidentally deleted the stupid thing. Mine's not set up to record as I'm streaming, and I do that for a reason because it eats up so much of my bit rate and stuff. I can't really stream without buffering if I do that. So anyway, those that have channels or those that have ever messed with OBS is going to understand what I'm saying there. So, hey, Christine. Hey, you guys, hold it down in there for me, would you? I'm going to try to get through this. I'm not even going to address the chat right this second, but I am going to go into it. So, okay, here we go. So what we got? We got an M4 flare. It definitely was right in front of us. I mean, it fired right at us. So, and right there. You see it? Kind of hard to miss, isn't it? And again, I want to preface this by saying this is not grid down anything. Okay? I'm going to start saying that probably quite often because when it's time to say that, I want people to listen. So that's why I'm going to steer away from that. But as you can tell here, guys, there's going to be some radio blackouts here. I haven't heard any reports yet, but this actually just happened. Okay? I was getting ready to actually go lay down, and it came across my phone. This big flare popped off. So I hop on here real quick just to give you guys an update because that's what I do. And again, I have to apologize for not posting much lately. Just a lot of stuff going on. And yeah, I actually got a green screen now. I'm going to start integrating. So the video quality will probably, the production value is probably going to jump up a little bit for you guys. I hope you guys like that kind of a thing. But still, the concentration is going to be on space weather and just trying to get you guys the information when it happens. Hey, Grizzly, what's up, brother? How you doing, Rat? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. All right, so let's check this out real quick. First, I want to show you guys the flare itself. Before we go any further, let me find this way. There it is. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to zoom in here, and anybody that didn't see my last live stream before I accidentally deleted it, they've changed the ISWA site's been changed up a little bit for the better, actually. They've added this one little thing here where you can go through different wavelengths all at once. You don't have to go up here and toggle all these through. You can just go here and then select which one you want and roll with it. So anybody that looks at these tools, that's what you're seeing. Okay? But this is right here. That's the flare. Obviously, this is from SDO. It's the satellite sits out in front of the Earth, always looking at the sun. And this thing did pop right in front of us. Now, the question after the X-ray issue, which is the flare part, it's already impacted. I just showed it to you. So that shows you how fast it gets here. It's here in roughly around 8 minutes. So, and that's the X-ray part of it, and that's what causes radio blackouts and a few other things. I don't anticipate a radiation storm from this, but there did look to be an eruptive CME with it. Now, how big it is, don't know yet. And we'll look at this right here. I'll show you here where you can kind of see the eruptive part of it. So, see how kind of quiet that was kind of looking? Now, these sunspots are huge. This grouping right here is huge. And they're playing with each other now, which is why this thing erupted. So, watch what happens right here where my cursor is. Okay, you see that little brighten area there? All that is, it's a connection line, magnetic connection line. So watch what happens. Boom. Okay. Now I know a lot of people think that's probably an X flare. No, it's not. It just takes that shape. That's how the camera interprets it. This does not make it an X flare. Hey, Bubba News, good to see you. So what you're seeing there, guys, this is substantial. Okay, this is not something that's small, but it's also not something that's big. This stuff is very expected during this time in the solar cycle. I have to say that, guys, because when we start seeing stuff that isn't expected, we need to be. That's when people need to listen. So if I come out here and I say that this is some big, huge thing that's getting ready to, do whatever, nobody's going to listen to me when it's actually they need to, right? That's why I've been doing it that way from now on, because I don't want anybody to kind of, get lax. We do this with like tornado warnings, right? I'm not sure if anybody that lives in the Midwest kind of experiences this, and this is something that meteorology fights, because they're kind of stuck in the middle there. They don't want to issue a tornado warning if they're not 100% sure. But then if they are like 99% sure and don't issue the warning, and then somebody gets killed, you see what I'm saying? So it's a hard line to kind of walk here. We get really, if they issue a tornado warning and nothing happens, it causes you to doubt the next time. You won't take it as serious. And the same thing is happening here in our community. And I'm not kidding. It's amazing how much these people will cannibalize themselves. It drives me nuts. And that's a really drawback to what we do here. It really is. And that's why I don't participate in that kind of crap. So just understand that. And I won't even entertain it. I don't even acknowledge it usually. Hey, Christine. What is crack-a-lackin'? So anyway, that's the flare. And so I'm going to, I guess what I could do, we're going to go look at a different angstrom here too real quick. But you see how that happens just that fast. So, and it did look like, it wasn't really long duration, guys. I mean, you could see the filament a little bit, filament part of it, the connection line, the plasma, kind of reaching up in like an arc, and then you can see it like bust right in the middle, kind of like a incandescent light bulb would do, the filament in a bulb. So that's what you're going to see, right? So let me do this again for you guys. So this connection line right there is going to break, and you're going to see it erupt. So here it comes. Boom. See that? And sometimes these flares won't produce a CME. Okay, that's why we differentiate them. So you can definitely see, hey, Rock, what's happening? Hey, Kelly. So as you guys can see, this is substantial. You see how you can see it spread throughout the whole capture. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you that we have a huge CME coming, because I don't know yet. This just happened. Now there's a chance that happened. So how do we know? Well, we got to wait for the models to update. Number one. Number two, we can go look at stereo A, which is a partial sideways side view of the sun. Okay, which is right here. And I'm not seeing a whole lot yet. Again, I have to say, This is something that just happened. So if you're looking over here on the right, Earth would be over in this direction, way far away, but in this, heading that direction. The satellite would be right here where my cursor is, just kind of pulled closer to your face. This is the surface of the sun. This is a black occulter disk that's on the tool, on the satellite, stereo A. It's there to block out the majority of the light so we get to capture it all. So watch what happens, and you might not see a whole lot here. Okay? You can kind of see right here, that's the backside though, right? We know it didn't happen there. I just showed you where it happened at. So if you watch the last frame right here, you're going to see it kind of like either dim or get bright right here. Just barely. So let me take you there and watch. You kind of see, like, you can see the light kind of come across the occulter a little bit. And it's very subtle, but I do think that that is that flare, because it's the timing lines up. So I do think there's at least a little bit of a CME with this. I can't tell you how big yet, like I said. I'm not even going to attempt to, because it just would not be the thing to do right now. So here's that flare again. This is the X-ray absorption, and right there in the middle is where you would see the best chance for radio blackouts. And if I have to be honest here, there's not a whole lot of population there. So I don't know, it might affect like ships and stuff, but this is also the South Atlantic anomaly. There's, the magnetic field here is way different. Okay? I mean, we see weird stuff happen here. So we got to keep that in mind too, because that did happen right around that area of the South Atlantic anomaly. Now, what can that do? Maybe give them some, I don't know, who knows? Probably not a whole lot is what I'm trying to say. Is this going to cause like aurora? Well, if they're CME with it, yeah, it will. But that's going to take it a couple of days before it gets here. Now, speaking to that, we had another CME, which I talked about in the live stream that got deleted. You can see here, guys, this is the M4 flare. Right? You can see how close that is to like a bottom end of an X flare. So, it wouldn't take much more to make this an X flare. But still, that would not be a planet like global wide grid down, guys. Something that's going to cause that is going to be way off of this chart. You're not even going to be able to know how big it is. At least not on this chart. So we have to keep that in mind. Now I want to show you guys this too. You see this little jump in the proton flux? This is what we look at for radiation storms. It definitely jumped up. Okay? And my guess is we'll probably see it on some of the coronagraphs, which are these. Okay? You'll see like a white snow. It almost looks like an old-fashioned TV that the channel went off air. It really gets that bad on the bigger flares. Now, I'm not saying this one's that big, but it could, I think we're going to see some stuff here. So this is the 94 angstrom. Notice it fires off, and then you see how the whole area gets lit up. Well, it's because that light and the X-ray and stuff is hitting that satellite now. That's why you're seeing that. And again, this is not an X flare. Even though it looks like an X, it's not an X flare. Okay? And I know I hammer that point home, but I feel like I need to for people that don't know yet, and for people that do know and want to make a big deal about that. It's not. Okay? So, this is SOHO. This is another satellite right out in front of Earth. And so we're going to see anything here? Doubtful. It's just not enough time yet. So what we're going to do is we'll just run this through. Now, okay, this right here is what I was waiting on. You see this right here? This is the same kind of occulter disk that I showed you here. Remember I showed you guys how the light was bending around that? Now look what's happening on SOHO. Watch right here. See that? I know it's real subtle. I get it. But in early stages, that's what we're looking for. So I'm pretty confident saying, hey, there was a CME with this thing. And it looks like it's probably coming our direction. So now we'll have to wait and see how strong it is before we make any kind of conclusions on that. But I do think that we'll be watching this really, really close. Not to mention, let's go over here to spaceweather.com. These guys do a killer job over here. They haven't shown that flare just happened yet, but this is that sunspot grouping. Okay? And it's big. It is big. They would say 5 Earths can fit in that. Something like that. It's kind of crazy. But that's what they're showing there. And again, please go give them some love. And give them, go over and give them some traffic because they deserve it. Okay, so this is seeds. This is basically the same thing I just showed you guys a little while ago on the coronagraphs, but you're not going to see much. On the left and right is the black and white, and a lot of people go to that one, right? Because it's easy to see because there's contrasting colors. But this flare isn't showing up here yet. So, yeah. What can we expect? Now, I want you guys to see this. Okay, this is radio blackouts. Right now it's an R1, I believe. Let's check it. Yeah, R1. Right there. Okay? Not a big deal, is what I'm trying to say. That's why I'm out here in the front of this, so you guys can understand that. So, yeah, weak or minor degradation to radio communications on the sunlit side, which is what we've seen, where that big red blop was. It says low frequency navigation signals degraded for brief intervals. Basically, a nothing burger. Not a whole lot going on there, right? Yeah, the magnetogram definitely does look busy, and I was actually going to show you that right here, our magnetosphere. Okay. So as we're moving through here, you can see waves coming in. Now this is at our planet right now. What's happening here, guys, is we're in a coronal hole stream, which is solar wind that's elevated. Plus, where there was a CME fired off a few days back, and this is probably a glancing blow with this. Now NOAA was predicting a geomagnetic storm G1 for this, and they have now canceled that. They're still saying G1, but this time frame has already passed. And you see their predictive spot here, nothing there. So I think they're thinking now that this thing either wasn't as strong or didn't hit us as square on as what they thought. Okay, now right here, this is the end of the spiral, NOAA's version of it. So let me play that for you. We are right. Let me show you. Right here in time. No, we're not. This thing hasn't been updated yet. Give me a second, guys. Sorry. Okay. So you can see that's that CME, right? See that? Notice here, and I want you guys to see this because this NOAA model is actually showing something pretty cool here. Okay, now out in front of this, you see the red stream? This is a solar wind speed. They're forecasting these numbers here. This is the CME that popped off. So see where Earth is right here? We're in a coronal hole stream, and then here comes that CME. Boom, right there. They were expecting when that thing hit that we were going to be in a G1 storm. Well, that has not materialized yet. Matter of fact, our conditions are very nominal right now. And I'll show you that on Discover here. Okay, the conditions here are not all that elevated. The density is not too far. That's the orange line there. We are elevated in solar wind speed. Anything between 3 and 500 is normal. Anything above that would be considered elevated. Now the BZ, we really look at this because this is the angle that we talk about all the time. At a -6 is when the stuff really comes in really good. It starts to anyway, and can start giving us, big geomagnetic storms. Well, look, even with all this elevation, it never really popped down very far. Now, I want to preface this by saying too that this CME could be late. If they miss the timing and not the direction, we could still see another hit. Okay? So we're just going to have to wait. But again, nothing big is coming from that. And I just showed you guys what we would expect. Let me find it again. There it is. That's radio blackout part there, but the geomagnetic storm from the CME, I want you guys to see this, and I've shown this so much. A G1 storm, guys, we expect to see 1,700 of them in a sun cycle. 11 years. 900 days. We should see 17 G1 storms. 1,700. And if you want to look at the big ones, they actually build in, like a G4, we're supposed to see those 100 times. So the stuff, well, even the bigger ones, we expect to see some of this. Okay? We have to pay attention to see what's going on. So, it's not a set in stone number here. They go off of averages. So there is, anytime we get a decent sized CME, we're going to look at it and we're going to scrutinize it, and we're going to, try to do our best to see how strong it's going to be and what it can do. But we're also going to be real about it. If it's not going to be that big, I'm going to tell you guys, hey guys, don't go out here listening to somebody saying right here. I'll show you. I'll give you an example. Geomagnetic activity right here. Never got the G1. But I promise you, I haven't seen anything yet, but I promise you somebody's going to say, oh my gosh, look at all this geomagnetic activity. Somebody out there is going to say that. And I want you guys to have the tools in your belt to be able to understand that they're way over-exaggerating things. In order to see a grid down situation like big time stuff, we're talking up here, guys. Probably off the chart. That's what we have to see, right? Now, we know there's other factors, magnetic field weakening, all this stuff that we talk about. And it definitely could. And that's why we look at this stuff, guys. But we don't draw conclusions before we go look at it. You get what I'm saying? I'm not afraid to admit when what I've been taught is the correct thing. And I'm not afraid to go against when something that was taught to me and I think it's false. You have to be able to do both. That's the whole point. So, anyway, enough of that. So, this is density here. White is lower density. It's inside our protection here, our magnetic field, right? So that's why you got less dense material here. It's typically like that. We'll just leave it at that. That's usually what it looks like. And again, not much going on here. Now, everybody understands magnetic pressure, right? And there's, yes, that's a lot of magnetic pressure right there, but it's not like to the point where we're going to see much issue. Now, let me say this. If this BZ, our angle, goes to -6 during all this stuff going on, yeah, I think we'll get into geomagnetic storm. But it's going to take that to happen. Just my opinion. And if we do get into storm without that, it's only going to be like a G1. So, yeah. So go to spaceweather.com. Some love over here, guys. They do an awesome job. We'll take a quick look here at the earthquakes. Not a whole lot going on this front right now. Not at the moment. Aurora. If the CME did materialize off of that flare, then you will see an uptick in Aurora here in a few days. Okay, it's northern on the left, southern on the right. Okay, so yeah, so that's what's popping, guys. I mean, and again, this is newsworthy. Okay, of talking about. This is really when we should be talking. We shouldn't be in fear, because I can tell you right now, nothing huge is going to happen from this. Okay, now that right there, if the CME's bigger, if it's more powerful than what I'm seeing at, this very early time, and I'm even timid not to even talk about this kind of stuff till we're 6-12 hours out from this, because we got a better grasp on what kind of data we're getting. So that's why. But I did want to show it to you guys. And again, my main reason for doing that is to give you guys the opportunity to see it without it being lopsided one way or the other. Because you're going to have people blowing it way out of proportion, and you're going to have people on the other side saying, hey, man, and going against everybody on everything, right? So I just try not to think for you guys. I just want you guys to see the data, and that's what you're seeing. And you believe what you want to believe, and that's where I leave it. I love you all just the same. Just saying. But, okay, guys, I am going to go ahead and pop off. My daughter is at school today. She's first day back in from spring break. And, yeah, so we're going to go ahead and pop off here, guys. I guess if you guys got any questions or whatever. Oh, go check out the Lifeboat. You guys know I helped Tommy run that channel over there. It's our channel. It's for addiction recovery. That's a massive problem in our society. We know this. So please go over and check out the Lifeboat. Joanna can tell you. She's over there. Christine is too. But yeah. Christine, if you could, you might be able to drop the link to that. Or Joanna, somebody. Drop the link in there for the Lifeboat, please. And Mark Pires, Renaissance fan. He did a good show last night, guys. You guys need to go check him out. Okay? And Rip Curl. If you guys want to know how to prepare, go talk to Rip. Great. The best, alternative news, independent station, Marfoogle. Go check them out. Please. Hilly, what's up, brother? Great Bible study. If you guys go over to Hilly's channel, please. Please, please, please. You guys want to see it, be a part of a good Bible study? He does it every Saturday. So guys, go over there. Bubba News 2. Go check him out. But all right, guys. I am going to go take off here. I have to go take care of some stuff. So appreciate you guys stopping in. And again, guys, I'm trying to up the production value here. I will be integrating my green screen, and I'm going to try to do the setup a little bit different. I hope you guys like it, and I'll ask your guys' opinion once I get that thing up and running. But we're trying to get a call-in show going over on the Lifeboat so we can help people live like that. They can call in with addiction and recovery questions. That's in the works. I'm working on that as we speak. So, anyway, guys, God bless. Yahusha saves, and, yeah, you can drink this